Sing. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore the younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, I hope you are, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets him my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke. He'll light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, John, I believe this is killing me, as the smile ran away from his face. And I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now Paul, he's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. Oh, and the waitress is practicing politics as the businessmen slowly get stoned. Well, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Pretty good crowd for a Sunday in August. Before the bank holiday. It is. And most people are away.
They are. But still lots of people here.
But the manager, as usual, with her long hair. I swear to you, it is the longest hair I've ever seen on you, ever. And I just saw a picture of you when you were very little. You had long hair then.
I did.
And it's longer than that.
It is. It is, I'm afraid.
It's really getting embarrassing, isn't it? I don't know.
It's not getting embarrassing at all.
And imagine, well, she gives me a smile.
Hello, everyone.
This mean me.
And
Because of my pianistic skills.
And my kidney.
She's been coming to see you. We just stop with the kidney. To forget about life for a while. And the piano sounds like a carnival. And the microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la la la. Sing along now, play, come on now. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling alright.
That was 7 minutes, 10 seconds, and I thought you were going to be sub 7 minutes at one point. So I can't remember who said what, but claim your prize now if you want to.
Hope you like the waistcoat.
Before we, waistcoat looks very nice. Yeah. Is it a celebration?
No, it was going to be waistcoat on its own and just my chest and the waistcoat.
No.
I just thought people don't pay for that kind of stuff.
No, you don't want that. However, it is a bit of a celebration because exactly 1 year ago, today and tomorrow, Angela Raby, bless you, had a bright idea that we should have a way of communicating one another as a group. And by the end of the show, our wonderful tech team had set up a Facebook group called the JV Community. So happy birthday, everyone. We are 1 year old today.
A Facebook group?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
1 year
We've
old.
got over 800 and something members now in that group.
Yeah.
Some of whom chime in regularly. And we would ask you to check it regularly because there are lots of posts that people put up. One of the things that struck me was the way that the community has congratulated people. I say now, Valerie Hollier isn't looking today. She'll probably possibly watch later.
She's gone
to a concert tonight. But it was her birthday. She was absolutely so touched.
And we got a song for you later, Valerie.
So many of you contacted her to say happy birthday.
Yeah, meant so much to her.
That's what this community is about. A very simplest level about communication with people. Anyway, a bit of fun tonight. We're going to have a little bit of a backing track. Here you go. This is called Rock Me. Here we go. Thanks, Rach.
And this one's for goddaughter Emily, whose birthday was this week. Turn yourself up.
Oh, hear me singing. Hear the words that I'm saying. Rock my soul with water from on high. In a world of sin around me, no evil thought confound me. Lord, if you leave me, I will die. If you hide me in thy bosom till the storms of life are over, rock me in the cradle of thy love. Then you feed me till you feed me, till I don't want no more. And then you take me to that blessed home above. Help me to do good wherever I can. Oh, let thy pleasures tell me, let your Holy Spirit fill me, and just hold me in the hollow of your hand. You till the storms of life is over. You rock me in the cradle of thy love. Then you feed me, yes you feed me, till I want no more. And you take me to that blessed home above. Come on, guitar man, oh, bam, 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 bam. Till the storm of life is over. Rock me in the cradle of thy love. Then you feed me, yes you feed me, till I want no more. And you take me to that blessed home above. Oh yeah, yeah.
Brilliant. I do always forget that bit. Sorry.
That's from the album Pilgrim. Remember that one?
I do remember that one. It was
Bryn
the one
Howarth.
that was the one with you looking very bored and depressed on the front.
Yeah, I blame a certain producer for that.
Can I just also dedicate that? We dedicated that to goddaughter Emily, whose birthday was this week, and also Rachel. Friend Rachel Slough, it's your birthday tomorrow, dear Rachel, so have a good day.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
A lovely meal that she provided. Do you remember that lovely
I do
Rachel?
remember the lovely meal.
The chicken meal she brought us. Okay, here we go. This one is for John Hillman, and John has had a really tough time of it recently, and he's got COVID, so he's at home on oxygen at the moment. He's sitting there, and he always asks me for something classical. And I just thought a little bit of joy in your life, John, that's what you need, because goodness knows we all do. Every time you read what a most depressing headlines. And they're not true, guys. Can I just ask you just to get a grip?
Some of them are.
All right? Some of them are.
Some headlines are true.
Some are true. Afghanistan, don't even want to go there. But let's just kind of get a grip, shall we? And as we learn to live with this thing that we've got, let's be balanced, at least, and try and have courage as we take little steps towards what we are, which is free. Okay? We will be free. We don't have to live like this for the rest of our lives. And anybody who wants to, reminds me of a dog that I saw in Milo. Bless his little soul. He goes and he sleeps in a cage by choice because he's got so used to sleeping in the cage. We don't want to get used to sleeping in a cage, everybody. All right? I'm looking at the camera. We want to believe because we live outside of the cage. That's where we live. So eventually, and here's me speaking vulnerably, it comes 3 months on Wednesday that we've had the operation. So I'm officially out of my 12 weeks come Wednesday.
You're out of your tree.
Quarantine.
Oh, out of your cage.
Out of my cage, all right? I'm certainly out of my cage, that's for sure.
Right,
and this one is for John. John, here's a little bit of Donizetti for you. He's dead, you know.
Didn't
even know he was ill. Thank you very much. And I'm here all week. I won't be here all week. But, it's called Me voglio fare una casa miezzo mare in Italiano. This is for John Dick, if he's listening, because John loves a little bit of opera, I know that. And John, I just saw a picture of him in a suit. It was most disturbing. He looked like a man from CNA's. That's all I could say. John, give up the modelling career. It doesn't suit you, all right? It just doesn't suit you, no. Anyway, here we go. Me voglio fare una casa miezzo mare. Me voglio fare una casa miezzo mare. Trabeccata le pene e le paure. Trabeccata le pene e le paure. Trallalallela, 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 d'argento lisa affacciare quando la mia sera affacciare ognuno dice ma sbarca
Well, that got the pointy sticks corner just crocheting and knitting at breakneck speed, I think. You're exhausted now.
I haven't sung that for about
Quite a long time.
a long time.
Quite a long time.
And that was, I listened to a song, constantly doing that recently on a recording. Now, we've got lots of songs to do, lots of dedications. Now, this one, can you dedicate to, please? So then we're going to do a couple of songs together.
A couple of songs together. Carol Evans, you dropped me a line and asked for a dedication because today is your parents' 65th wedding anniversary. Can I just say, we celebrate 39 years next week, and I am...
We do.
I'm amazed that I've lasted
feel
this long.
anything
So
more
65
Yeah, 65.
is a very long time. So congratulations to them. I know it's been a difficult time for them with your dad in the home, but I hope they managed to have a bit of a celebration today. But also, very sadly, is that today's the anniversary of their son's death. So your brother Paul died a few years ago, I think. So I'll be thinking too of Lisa, his wife, and his sons Barney and Owen. So you asked for the old rugged cross. So this is what you're going to get.
Now, just before we do that,
Oh.
before you put it on, Rachel, before you do that, some time ago during lockdown, I heard this song before we even thought about recording it, and I was in the studio, and it was the Gaither quartet, vocal quartet, and they had a woman singing on there, and she sung this song, "Take My Hand, Precious Lord," and it was before the operation, before I got into dialysis. It was terrible. Times were very difficult. And I remember listening to this song, and I just sat there weeping my heart out to this. And it was, take my hand, precious Lord, lead me on. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious. And I just thought, I looked out of the garden, and I felt actually God saying, I will take your hand. That's all. I can't say more than that. That's just sitting there, just listening to it, not playing it, not singing it. Just doing it.
But it did
And
help a
sometimes
lot,
actually,
didn't
right
it?
at the moment, for some of you, and if you have no faith in whatever, I don't mind that. I'm just saying this is what I felt at the time. I can't prove it. I can just say that actually, that you as a community helped. That you were the hands, actually.
Yes.
That
Helped.
That's when Jesus talks about hands and feet. They're usually our hands and feet. They uses as means of grace. So I just want to say that. Rachel, stick it on a very, very funky version. Precious Lord, take my hand, oh, lead me on let me stand. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm worn through the dark, through the night. Lead me on to the light. Oh, take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home. Take my hand, precious Lord, and lead me home. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday, and exchange it someday, and exchange it someday for a crown. On high, hear my prayer. Hear my need. You have always been there. Hear the young, he's afraid. Let him rest. Heaven He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly, on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He's young, he's only a boy. You can take, you can give, let him be. Let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. Well, how about that then?
Well, not a dry eye in the house, I should think, including your wife.
Oh, you're all teary-eyed.
Oh, it's wonderful. I have to say that my kidney's doing a grand job.
We're just stuck with the kidney. It's just stuck. It's these vocal cords.
I can't tell you how thrilled I am that you're able to sing like that. I mean, it's just glorious, and it's, you know, like you've sung in the past, and we knew you were capable of.
We've been clearing out Sue's mum's place.
Before we go on, sorry, I just wanted to say.
Oh, who's that for?
I wanted to dedicate that to Valerie.
Oh,
Valerie
yes.
Hollier. Valerie, you work so hard on your radio station each week, and you do dedications for everyone else. So that one
Including
was for
us.
you. Yes, including us. That one was for you. So happy birthday for Friday.
And always for Rob Barron
Yes.
and Di. And, you know, it was a nice programme we did there on Monday. Thank you for having us on. We were clearing out Sue's... thank you, Rachel. Rachel's just written top form JV. She's very sweet. I love that girl. I love the whole tech team. They're just a beautiful bunch. And, yeah, they've been going for so long now. This is they're part of the family. And it's quite extraordinary. But we were clearing out Sue's mum's place, and we came across some cassettes. Mum had a cassette player.
Do you remember cassettes, people?
Remember cassettes? Do you remember? Remember you just used to mixtapes and things like that. And anyway, we were listening and found some tapes. And Mum and Dad Dad's long gone, 17 years so. And they used to record me when I was on the radio a lot on the BBC or do an opera or whatever that was happening on Friday night as music night or whatever it was. And but from Christmas Day, from Bath Abbey and that kind of thing. And I was singing all these songs. And do you know what? I hadn't heard them. I hadn't heard what I sounded like. And I suddenly realised, actually, I was quite good. And that was why I was why I was
it was,
did what I did.
It was just wonderful to listen to some of these old
1998
sort of tapes back from when you and I were
95.
first going out, and we sang in a band together, and your mum and dad were very pleased, and so they kept sort of recording us doing various songs and so on. So that was great fun to listen to that. But then we listened to some of the later recordings of when he was performing, and it actually was a big encouragement for you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because
I
you don't normally hear yourself. I suppose that's the fun thing, isn't it? You don't normally get to hear yourself.
No, you do recordings and you put them to bed. And often I never listen to the recordings again, or as Sue says, it in the car. I listen to them in the car to try and teach myself if I've got to do them. But and just to see they were quite good. I was listening to No More Night the other night, which is a song which is, for many people, particularly people who aren't Christian, is totally inscrutable.
Inscrutable, yes.
It's just loads of Bible verses all tied together. But it's a very moving performance. And I remember thinking, that's a moving performance. We did it live in
Sorry,
Nashville.
I'm just going to do the camera because I've left you in a strange position on the screen. Hang on.
Okay. Anyway, that's beside the point. This is a bit of self-emulation or whatever it is. No, that's the word. That's the wrong word. What's the word? Is the word? It's self-glorification. So forget enough of that. So let's get on to the real me, which is that in the kitchen, Sue. What existed before?
Can I just say, I am so proud of my husband this week, and
his kidney.
You've been all noticing that he's got a lot of energy. So I think the steroids are still coursing through his veins, and he was so inspired this week that he did a bit of DIY, and it's still standing.
When you say a bit of DIY, what exactly do you mean by a bit of DIY?
Well, he knocked a couple of nails into the wall to put a couple of things up in there.
And amazingly, that's it, two nails. Two nails.
They're still there.
They're still there.
And he only had to knock them in once, and the wall is still there, and the pictures are still there. So
no electrocution, nothing.
No, nothing.
No wires hit.
No.
So if anybody needs any nails putting in walls, I'm your man. Okay. So it's just, but it reminded me of the story of, and I needed to tell you this because it made me laugh the other day. I was telling it, somebody came around who we're going to have on to the show, he's a friend of ours, and he's part of the JV community he's a trustee on the Gaff, You've Got a Friend Trust, and he's a coroner. That's his job. He's a judge coroner, and he was telling us about stories of the fact that he's no good at DIY like I am. No good at DIY. So anyway, this one goes back to when we were in London. We bought a flat in London some 37 years ago, in Tooting, in Streatham, and we were. I was unemployed at the time, just trying to get some. I was working for Graham Kendrick on on Sundays we're going touring and stuff. But I wasn't working a lot in those days, and so she went off to the job centre where she worked. She was a manager of a job centre, and she said, "Right, could you put a blind up in the bathroom?" So I said, "Well, that can't be, it can't be too difficult." Anyway, it was an 1850s type of property, and we were the central middle floor. So she said, "There, I want two screws in there and two screws in there above the window. That's it, and it's pull down blind in the loo." Thought that can't be that difficult. So I got the toolbox out that had been given with all the useful tools from Sue's father, like a hammer drill. Why would you give me a hammer drill? But there you are. He decided the hammer drill was a good thing, and she started out with those lines which are. Just have the confidence, darling. Just have the confidence. Just have the confidence. Don't worry. I know you're just worried, but just have the confidence. So I said, okay, confidence. So we got plugged in the drill. And I thought, what we need is a hole there, and a hole there, and a hole there. It can't be that difficult. So I stood, and we didn't have any steps. So I thought, well, I'll just stand on the basin and the toilet, and the bath, and between the two, I can get that. Didn't check out the plaster or anything. Just thought, just put the holes in the wall. I heard about raw plugs from somewhere. Somebody told me there was raw plugs. So I didn't even know how to measure them to go in. Just there's the drill bit, and there it goes in there. So I get up onto the thing, and the first thing I did was I stepped onto the toilet and cracked the seat. That was the first thing. Just cracked. Just went. That was it. End of toilet seat. I thought, okay, so now I'm standing on the basin and on the bath, and I get there with the drill, and I didn't realise that there were two settings. One was hammer and one was not. I went to the hammer setting, okay, and I got two holes. And I didn't know you had to put a guide or anything, and I just went, and as I hit it, it started going, and all the plaster, literally from there, all around it, because it was 1850s, the plaster was shot, didn't know it. It all fell down, all around me, about a good 12 inches around it, just fell off. And I stood there. I won't say what I said. It's not. Anyway, I just thought, what? I can't believe that this. This by now We're now at 9:15. One toilet seat and one wall destroyed. All right, it's 9:15. Okay, I've only been out since 9:05. So I thought, oh, what do I do? I had to go down to the dreaded shop that I hate, which is the DIY shop, because it's always there with a bloke who knows what a 3/2 is. I have no idea what a 3/2 is, and I don't care, all right? Does he know what a D flat major scale is? I don't think so. So I thought, okay. So I'll go down there, and they're always, yeah, what do you want? It's always that, isn't it? They never go, hello, sir, can I help you? You probably don't know your way around this DIY shop. Not a bit of it. It's a bloke called Kevin, and he's in there, and he's going to give you hell from the minute you walk in to the minute you walk out. So I went in, I said, hi. I said, look, I think I've done something a bit. I've knocked the plant. He said, you what? I said, well, yeah. He said, well, that's a bit stupid, isn't it? So I said, well, yeah, but I didn't know. And he said, well, what do I do? He said, well, what you need is a bit of a quick drying plaster, mate. That's what you want, a bit of polyfiller. And he said, I'll sell you that. And he said, just stir it out. It's 20 minutes, and it hardens after 20 minutes. And then you can drill into the wall, but don't put it on the hammer drill thing. So I said, okay. So, and I could tell he was looking at me going, what an idiot. So I took that, a spatula, bought a spatula and a bit of polyfiller, went up to the bathroom. I'm thinking, right, okay, here we go, put it on. And of course, if anybody tried to stick polyfiller on a wall, it just goes, it's like this stomach right now. This stomach is, it's a, right, like that. And it starts to fall down, and I'm setting it back up again, and by now, I'm sticking up there every, 3 minutes, and eventually, after about 40 minutes, I got it to stay. I'm just looking at it, and I've smoothed it off-ish, not very well, and I know she's gonna look at it. I'm gonna have to get somebody to decorate it properly. So I stick it up there, and I thought, well, I'll leave it for 20 minutes. No, I'll leave it for 40 minutes, just to be safe. So I left it for 40 minutes, left it up there, and I'm looking at it, watching it dry. And I thought, okay, here we go now. Turned it over to the non-hammer drill bit, and I step up on the bath again, onto the basin, and I think, right, and I took a bit of wood. Somebody had given me a hint about putting a bit of wood as a guide through, and the net will just go gently into the wood and then into the wall. Not a problem. So I went in, and I went, and as it hit the plaster had not dried, not even slightly dried. And as a result of that, I stood there and watched, because I couldn't get it out then, because it was in, and now the plaster was forming a kind of a circular movement right round the bathroom, and the plaster went everywhere, around the ceiling, then the walls, down that wall, on the floor, and I just screamed. I just screamed out, threw everything on the floor, lay on the steps, right? By now, it was about 12 o'clock, all right? 12 o'clock. And I lay on the steps, just going up to the lounge, and I had a hammer in my hand, smashing the floor, and I fell asleep. And Sue found me with my legs dangling over the staircase, and she thought I killed myself.
Well, I came home, and all I could see were the 2 feet sticking out over the stairs, and I thought, oh no, my husband, he's died, he's electrocuted himself or something. But actually, you were just asleep because you were so cross.
I was so cross. Eventually, we did what we always did, which was got your dad in.
Yeah, my
he
dear
came from
dad.
Guildford.
He came and rescued you and
as
sorted
always,
you out.
and said,
yes.
And now from then on, Sue just said, "We'll get someone in." That's it. That's what she said from now on. We'll get someone in, and that's what we've done.
Yeah, well, not anymore for putting nails in the wall. Can I just say?
All right.
I've
she asked me if I put a nail in up there, but I said no.
Let's watch this
I don't want to watch this space. There'll be another nail there, so that'll be the major work of the week.
Just watch out. See if there's a nail in that space.
Right, a couple of other
week.
notices and things that need to be said, which are Why Gaff Day on the September the 25th, a Saturday. Now, we're marking it on the Saturday, but it doesn't have to be done on the Saturday. It doesn't matter when you do it. You can have, whatever you do, it doesn't matter how small you make. If you make a £5 from a sponsored walk up and down the garden, whatever you've done, or whatever you can imagine about doing, it doesn't matter. We don't want you just to give money, because giving money can be boring. What we want you to do is we would love you to do something, and it doesn't have to be on Why Gaff Day. You can do it 2 days before, 5 days before, a week before. Doesn't matter. I know that Andy Hatvarney is going to cycle round the whole of... Could you put that back up again, please, Rach? Could you put that graphic back up for me? Mm-hmm. I just want to kind of highlight a few things there. So you've got, it's on Saturday 25th September. You can do a bring and buy, cook cakes, auction of promises. Have you got anything that you could auction? And if so, tell us. Now what we want to know is what you're going to do, so that we can, and would love you to tell Adrian Pinnock, right? Adrian Pinnock, and then he can kind of coordinate the whole thing together. He's going to be doing a quiz on that Saturday. Now, we're going to be joining that and looking at, because I'm useless at quizzes, I'll be standing by with my mobile phone to cheat. And, all right. But if you've got anything, and we're trying to think of how we could give away a special package of CDs to people who haven't got any.
She's put up some lovely ideas.
Oh, there we are.
Publicity
there. You can do it, and you can hand these round. You can print these off on the website. You can go on the website. You've got a friend trust. You can go on the website here, and you can print them off. Okay. If you don't know how to do it, get somebody who is computer competent to do it, and bake a cake, sell something, do something. Whatever you bring, remember the principle is that everybody gets involved. And everybody, that means you bring in a small amount, whether it's a £5 or whether it's £2 or whether it's £10 or £50. It doesn't matter. The principle is that everybody gets involved. And lots of small amounts equal a major amount that can help. Now, somebody asked, I think it was Kath Kelland asked, or somebody asked this week what it was for. And so not everybody knows what You've Got a Friend Trust is for. It's about putting an arm around people who are in need at this time, okay? Now, what we started the charity, we started giving, Sue and I started giving and helping people as we saw the need. And as you gave to us, we gave away to other people. That was the idea. And it was trying to model that for you as well. So that's what we're trying to do, and you can get involved in that, in just helping people with small amounts of money. We're not bankrolling people, we're not paying people's mortgage, nothing like that. It's just small amounts of money, and that can help in a crisis that will help you. So you can get involved in that. That's the 25th. And don't forget, we've got coming up, Matthew will be coming in, and we're as we speak, I'm organising studios to record probably towards the last 28th, 29th, 30th of this month, the new Christmas CD, which will be the Lockdown Sessions 3. And the way we did it before was people bought the album. They paid £15 and they got an album. That's what you're doing. We will not take money from any money raised. We only take money once where everybody has got their album. Then we start selling. Usually it was about 361. We made money on 362. We promised not to remove any money from that fund. We didn't do it in the first, and we will not do it in the second. Third album. We will not be doing that. We just want to raise money so we can pay musicians, studios, copyright, duplication, all of that kind of thing. That we'll have it ready for the second week, we hope, of November, for you to buy for your friends, for your family, and some lovely Christmas songs that we're preparing for you right now. That's it now. Why don't we have a song? And a song of optimism.
Sorry, there's been a correction that's gone out. Thank you, Helen, for pointing this out. The quiz is on the Wednesday, the 22nd.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My fault. Let me correct that. The quiz is on Wednesday, the 22nd, not the Saturday. Wednesday, the 22nd. If you'd like to, there are only 100 places. 100 people that can do it because of the Zoom thing. And if you don't like quizzes and you don't want to be involved, then don't. I saw some people, that's fine, do something else. But all we want you to do is do something. Doesn't matter what you do, but just do something. Be involved in your community charity. And it's your community, the JV community, which has this charity, and that you are the ones that are giving. That's it, basically. And we, obviously, will be giving as well. I'm trying to think, actually, if we can if somebody can work out a package where we can give every CD that we've got away, every CD and book, right, that we've got available, that we can give it as a package to somebody if they're willing to pay a certain amount of money. I mean, I don't know, you don't have to bid stupid money. You just have to bid a certain amount, and we'll post it out to you as a kind of a thank you. With that money will go straight to the Gaff, okay?
Okay.
And other things that we can do. Right, let's have a little song, shall we? For Pauline Barry, this is one of the songs of great optimism and hope.
Yeah, so Pauline, you've got your knee op on the 2nd, which I think is Thursday this week. So I know it was postponed, and that was a shame because you were working your way up to it. But the 2nd is only on Thursday, so a little bit of encouragement and hope and positivity that the op will go well and that you'll soon be on the recovery road. So this one is for you.
Take it away, Rachel.
time traveling down this hard and rocky road. We're all just trying to survive, walking together and sharing the load, doing all we can to stay alive. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. We may be weary, and sometimes we just don't know how we can keep on keeping on. Take one day at a time and trust that history will show. When we're united, we are strong. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. So take care of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again somewhere just around the bend. Of each other, for we all need the hope that heals, the love that mends. Even when the darkness is as far as we can see, the sun will shine again, I believe, just around the bend. Just around the bend. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe the journey's nearly over. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe these troubled times will end. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. I believe we'll find a better place just around the bend. Just around the bend. I pray it'll be our eyes and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. I pray we'll find your light
hold it in our hearts. When stars go out each night, remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer. When shadows fill our day, lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching for the sky. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Just like every child needs to find a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved.
That was beautiful. That was requested by Kath Kelland, who says that her daughter is getting married on Tuesday to Yion, who is... so yes, enjoy that on Tuesday. That's going to be wonderful. I'd also like to mention that for Erica Clegg. I know that you've been really unwell this week, and I'm so sorry to hear that. So that one was also for you.
And also for Claire and Ben.
Claire and Ben, yes, you love that one, so that one's for you. And this one is for Sheila Moss, and also Margaret. You are 85 today, according to your granddaughter Sarah, so she's asked for a hymn for you, so this one is for you, It Is Well.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control that Christ has regarded my helpless estate and has shed his own blood for my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. My sin, oh, the bliss of this glorious thought. My sin, not in part, but the whole, is nailed to the cross, and I bury it no more. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, oh my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. Lord, haste the day when my face shall be sight, the clouds be rolled back as a scroll. Oh, the trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul. Sing it with me now. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. When peace like a river when peace like a river And we are thrilled to have our special guests here tonight with us, Alan and Jackie Slough from Stow in the Wold, and I think they're around here now.
They are.
Are they here? Can I see them? I can't see them. Can I see them here? Let's have a look. There they are. Hello, Jackie and Alan. How you doing? Nice to see you.
Very well, thank you. Good evening, Jonathan. Good evening, Sue.
Hello, lovely Sloughs. How are you?
How are you? We're very well, thank you.
It's lovely to have you both on. And when I was thinking about who to have on this, it's always a difficulty to know, where we should go. I have so-called famous people on, and I have people who have a story to tell. And I have to break it to you, you're neither. No, you're not. No. And I have to tell you that you are in that latter part. You're great friends of ours. You're lovely people, good friends. You proved yourself so many times in so many ways. And not least of all, and I think probably my favourite way, was when you came over last summer and brought us scones.
We had a cream tea in our
garden. We had a cream tea in our garden. You brought them over. Because
I think it was for my birthday.
It was for your birthday. Yes, it was birthday. Yeah.
It was his birthday.
The day before, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and we sat outside in the garden under the gazebo, and we had a lovely, lovely afternoon. And you came all the way down from Gloucestershire, from Stole the World.
You've actually put us on at your church doing a show several times. I've sort of lost count of how many we've done for you, actually.
We've done 3 now, yes.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, it feels like more.
And the last one, lovely evening in Chipping Camden. And right at the Baptist church there, right in the front of town. It's the only place I've ever seen where a Baptist church is in a prominent place, which is it's true, isn't it? It's very few places that they put it right on the high street there.
Yeah.
And you were out doing an open air service today, was that right? And your music blew away.
Yeah, this morning, yes. Yeah, the perils of doing open air services in the middle of August. We should do it in December or January.
Yeah.
Really. Much less windy and much warmer as well, I think.
Yeah, I would say that the possibility is true. Anyway, you're here, and one of the reasons that I wanted you on is because so many of us, each one of us has a story to tell. Each one of us has a narrative to our lives. Some narratives are more complicated than others. And I think actually people will want to hear your story. And it's a very moving story, as well as a very human story, and a very in touch with that's why I connected with both of you so much, because it's an honest story. It's not an all glory story. It's pain and suffering story, but leading out to some really positive stuff that has helped so many thousands of people. Tell us a little bit about both of you. Where have you come from? What did you do, Alan, before you're doing what you're doing now? Because it was quite interesting, this.
Well, I've had a in my very short life, because I'm only very young, obviously.
34, so yeah.
Almost. I've done many things. I had 20 years in agriculture working with dairy cows, and that was great. I was always getting a pat on the back. And,
hey, I'm here a week.
That was where we met, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was when we actually met, when I was working.
So how did you meet? What were you doing then, Jackie? Was he feeding the cows, and what were you doing?
I was horses on the yard next door.
Oh, that's right. You're a horsewoman, aren't you?
Over the fence.
We met over the farm gate, and she broke her broom, and I went to mend her broom for her.
Is that true?
That is absolutely true. Yes.
How romantic.
You mended her broom for her.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, we need you in my house to do some mending. That's very much. Do you know? After all this, I didn't know that you'd met over a broom.
Yeah, we did.
Oh
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But
swept her off of it. No, let's not go there. Okay.
no, let's not. No cheap dad jokes. None of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jackie, you were a horsewoman. So what does that involve? Those of us who don't really know a lot about horses, what did that involve for you doing?
Oh, everything that mucking out, grooming, feeding, cleaning up, cleaning, everything, riding. That was the best part.
All of that. And that's why I remember you're famous for your boots. You like wearing boots, don't you? Riding boots. That's what I seem to always have in my head, that you wear these. No, you do. You wear boots a lot, and that's what you're always waiting for the horse to come along, aren't you? That's what you're basically doing.
I am secretly, yes, definitely. Got it in one.
So you fell in love. You got married, and you moved out from were you still in agriculture when you were having your children when they were young?
No, we were still. We got married. We moved to a couple of places, and then we ended up. I ended up managing a farm just down the road from Steinway, between Steinway and Bourton on the Water. And that's where the boys were born. That's where we properly started married life, I guess, really. And we were there for 11 years until I was made redundant. And then we had a few interesting years, and I did lots of other jobs. I worked as I went into sales, but I wasn't very good at it because I couldn't really sort of fleece people. Like,
No, you're too honest.
Apologies
Too
for anyone
honest and
that's
nice.
in sales, but it was really, I just couldn't do it. I wasn't good at it. I was terrible at it.
No.
And then I went and worked for a local authority in Banbury, and I worked there for 7 years. And I went there as a dog warden covering maternity leave at the time. And then I stayed for 7 years and ended up running the refuse and street cleansing section for.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, how lovely!
That's fantastic. What an ascent!
70 staff and multi-million-pound budgets, and
Wow.
And then they wanted another manager because the manager had left, and I'd been doing his job for 12 months, and they said, "Sorry, you haven't got any qualifications. We can't even offer you an interview."
Oh my
please.
goodness!
So
That's
said,
frustrating.
"Never mind, I'll go and find my own," which I did, and that didn't work out well either. But and then I went truck driving for 7 years. So
You've done it all, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I had
master of all trades. No, jack of all trades and master.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Well, that's very nice, Jackie. Thanks for that.
Very, very encouraging. Yeah. So I went and I was driving 40-ton trucks around the country for about 7 years, and that was great fun in many ways. Big boys' toys, really. You know, it is as cool as it looks, really, but it gets a bit boring, I have to say. So
Yeah. Jackie, what were you doing at the time? Were you at home looking after the boys, or were you out working as well?
I was part-time working in Morton. Quite a few years in the chemist, working in there, and then various Gaffs.
Yes.
Various cafes.
So lots of different jobs between you, but life was sort of pretty much sort of straightforward and like other people's. But then on the 30th of January 2004, that was a big day for you. Tell us what happened that day.
Yeah, I mean, I was still driving trucks at that time, and I'd been out. I've been on an early morning shift, so I started about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was home by 2 in the afternoon. I was home certainly when the boys came home from school. Oh, no, actually, sorry, when Tom came home from school, because James is 3 and a bit years older than Tom, and Tom came home. We just had a chat about school. He'd been playing basketball. He wasn't very sporting, you know, but he'd enjoy playing basketball. He went and fed the dogs, because we used to keep quite a few dogs at the time, because that was another thing that we used to do. And just completely, I hate the word normal, you know, because what actually is normal? Yeah. A usual day, I think, would be the best description. Yeah. You know, I was home, he came home, we had a chat, he went and fed the dogs. And then I went to fetch Jackie from work. She worked just 10 minutes drive down the road. So I went home. I went to go and pick her up to bring her home, and just shouted up the stairs to Tom I was going. He was playing music, as he always was, you know, and picked Jackie up and came home. And then it was a Friday evening, and you just started picking up the washing. Yeah,
just getting the washing and everything done. And I tried to open his door and I couldn't. And then I yelled for Alan and realised that there was something majorly wrong. And he flew up the stairs and forced the door. And we found out that Tom had taken his life. And you did all the things. I was straight on the phone to the ambulance, and you were mouth to mouth, chest compressions, all the things that you do, and it just kind of.
And it was one of those moments where you just, you know, people say, well, I don't know how I would have coped, and we didn't know how we would have coped. No. And you don't know how you cope with anything until actually you have to. And sometimes in the heat of that moment, you just do, and where it comes from, who knows, you know, whether it's something I learned years ago, but you just do what you feel is right, what you know that you have to do. But at the same time, we actually knew it was too late. It's just one of those really strange things that when you know, a lot of people have lost parents or anything else like that. And when somebody before you has died, there is no life left in them. I know that sounds odd, but that you just sense that their spirit has actually left.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we kind of knew that, but the ambulance came. They tried, but we already knew that Tom had actually died. So and he timed it for that time. Those few minutes when he was in the house on his own.
Yeah.
So it was, and people say to us, "Oh, did he mean to do it?" Well, yes, he did. It was very much planned, and we were really, really fortunate insofar as he wrote an awful lot of stuff. And when a suicide occurs, there is so much that goes on with doctors, with police, with forensics, and everything else, and that nobody knows about until you actually do it. We have great experience at it now. Unfortunately, it's not an experience we want, but an experience that we've got. And the police come, and it was, we really feel. And I was having a conversation with a policeman the other day. He was telling me he sees lots of suicides, and I said it's really, really tough for you guys, because the young PC that came he got called out to Tom after we found Tom after he had died.
They have to be involved.
The police have to be involved. The same PC had been in our house the night before because Tom worked in the local supermarket, and they'd had somebody filled the trolley and ran out with it. And Tom was on the checkout at the same time, and the PC had come the previous evening and spoken to Tom. It was just getting a statement from Tom, and this young PC was absolutely devastated because he just didn't know. He'd seen Tom the day before, so it was, but it happens. We didn't have any faith when we were in the early part of our marriages. Not marriages.
How many times have you been married to the same woman?
This is my first wife. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
You call her that to keep her on her toes, of course.
Yeah. And we've been married 39 years as well, JB. So
same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Congratulations.
Really, yes.
Commiserations, whatever.
Where was I? Yeah, so we weren't actually we had no faith, but in 1999 we were invited onto an Alpha course, and we became Christians. So we kind of signed up for if you're a Christian, everything's fluffy and rosy, nothing ever nasty happens to you.
Life is wonderful.
Life is wonderful, and you can walk around in your sand,
bed of roses,
whatever else, and everything's good. But actually, that's not what life is about, and that's what we found. That's what we've been able to share with people since. But actually,
is it? Can I just ask you that? I mean, it's interesting. That's not what life is about. It's very difficult for people who I've seen many people and comments from people on this community, and of course we've been visiting churches, 615,000 churches over the time. I've done so many interviews and things, and I've gone on God television, and they talk this positive thing where as long as you pray the prayer, then it's fine, and God wants the best thing for you. How does that fit into the faith that you now espouse since the tragedy? Does it change your view of what faith is?
Strengthened it.
Yeah,
absolutely strengthened it, because God didn't cause Tom to do what Tom did. That was entirely Tom's choice, and we have a choice. When we follow Jesus, we have a choice. So it was Tom's choice and his decision to end his life for his reasons, and as we said, we're thankful that we know why.
It's a hugely complex subject in many ways, because many different arms or traditions of the Christian faith have different views on suicide. Some will say it's the ultimate sin. Some will say that it's wrong to take life, it's wrong to take your own life. And actually the answer is yes, it is wrong. But for Tom, for that person, it can be the right thing. And it's very difficult to explain that in a very short space of time. But actually, and Tom, people said, was Tom depressed? Well, actually not outwardly. He was 16 and a half years old. He had been having the usual sort of girlfriend stuff at 16 with hormones and everything else, and rejection and jealousy and all this sort of thing. He had a change of taste in music. He himself had become a Christian in 2000 as well. The boys had both gone on their own Alpha courses, and they'd both been baptized. So he had a really, really strong faith.
I would have said at the time his faith was stronger than ours.
It probably was, actually. Because he would at school he would I won't say defend his faith, but actually he would share his faith openly in a class of 30 people. And we remember one evening we were speaking to the history teacher, and they said we were supposed to be talking about history, and somebody asked Tom about his faith, and I just let him get on with it, So there's lots of thoughts on it. We kind of see it as that Tom, and we were really, really fortunate because he had written vast amounts. He was a really gifted writer, so he had actually written how he was feeling for quite a long time, and for where his feelings came from. People say, was he depressed, etc., etc. Not noticeably, but that was one symptom, if you like, that when people are like that, they're very good at hiding it. And I think we're all like that, really. Somebody says, especially in churches are
famous.
Excuse me saying this, they're the worst places sometimes, because
they are.
You walk up to somebody, oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. The old fine answer. And actually, we've done a lot of work with people to actually try and get them to understand that it's okay not to be okay. And especially in this pandemic time, it's been really, really tricky for an awful lot of people. But before Tom died, we were actually looking at buying a tea room. You just say where that came from.
Tell us what happens as a result of this. I mean, afterwards, because it's
an interesting story. Going back to the choice thing, I was going to say that we had a choice to, because you were asking how our faith was, and we had a choice to continue to follow God or reject him completely because of what had happened, and we just chose to carry on believing and trusting. And when we did Alpha, God just put on my heart to have a tea room, which was not something that I'm horses all the way. Tea room was not, I worked in them, but I didn't want one. It was such a burning desire and need to do it that we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it for years. And then Tom died, and then you're not supposed to make any big decisions for about 2 years, apparently, and after bereavement, especially like that. But we did. We sold and moved house and moved somewhere else in November 2004, which everybody said was the best place, and that we were the right people to be there, and we believed them. And it wasn't at all. It was as soon on day one, I knew it was the wrong place completely. But we kind of tried to make a go of it, and everything else, and that actually led me to have a breakdown, and seriously contemplate suicide. So much that the day that I was going to do it, I got him out of the house, and I was in the house on my own, and I was all set, and I just was going downstairs, sat on the stairs, and felt such love and peace that I'd never known before. And here I am still.
And we're so glad that you didn't.
We are.
Thank you.
That's such a... When I hear that, and that as a depressive, I do really associate with this. I do. And during this difficult time that we've had of illness, there have been times I've been lying on the bed in the hospital just thinking, if I could end it, I would. It's that kind of moment, isn't it? You think, that's it, I've had it. I've had my lot. And then
I would say, honestly, though, it's a default setting. If you've been there, it doesn't. Yeah. You're not going to do it, but it's your default setting. It's where you go to. But we went to the going back from that. having had the breakdown, I knew I couldn't work for anybody else. And so it was the obvious time to make a move into a tea room. And I was working in one at the time, and they were absolutely fantastic to us when Tom died. And I was in there one day and I was thinking, because it was for sale, and I thought, oh, I could do this here and I could do that there. And then this voice behind me said, not here. And it was a very loud, audible voice, so much that I turned around thinking there was somebody there, but it wasn't. It was obviously God's voice. So I thought, okay, not there. And we just waited a bit longer. And eventually, long story short, ended up where we are in Stow-on-the-Wold.
And a beautiful place it is too.
In our
It's so wonderful.
17th year.
Amazing.
16th year. Yeah.
Award-winning, top trot. Tell us about what the awards that you've got, because don't be bashful. Tell us about it.
Okay, but
you're getting a steady queue of people coming from the community.
We will just say that whatever we do, we don't actually try to get awards. It's really bizarre.
No.
We are two normal people who just love the Lord and who just do our best every day to be our best every day.
Yes.
And we always actually say that God has got an amazing sense of humour. Yes. I don't know whether anybody has ever worked out, because Jackie doesn't like cooking, and I'm not that fond of being in amongst a group of people either.
She's in the kitchen, you're out in front of people.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. But we started this, and actually we started with no experience. We'd never been self-employed. We'd never had our own business. I mean, when we look at it now, we think we must have been absolutely nuts to even contemplate that we could even. When we started, we had a very, very small loan from the bank to buy the business. We still rent the premises, but we bought the business, and the bank would only give us a loan for 3 years because they said, well, actually, we think you won't last any longer than 2.
And how many years is it now?
And we're now in our 16th year.
16.
And funnily enough, I never hear anything from the bank these days. It's really interesting, isn't it? But we've always we have an amazing privilege that actually people come to us, and we're able to share our story. On our tables at the moment, if I can just show you that, we have a little. We used to have these in sort of pamphlet paper form that we'd have on the table, but because of COVID. So we have a very, very small writing, but actually that's our story in a very small nutshell. That, and actually we don't share our story to ram our faith down people's throats. We are not a Christian tea room. We're a tea room that is run by Christians, and
quite correct. That's exactly right. Bang on.
We charge money for what we serve. We have to make profit. The business has to pay for itself. It has to pay for the rent. It has to pay for our mortgage. It has to pay for our holidays. It has to pay for everything else.
And my boots.
And Jackie's
your boots and the scones that you're going to bring for me.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. But actually, what we offer it actually is I think is probably hope that however hard things are. And this isn't meant to sound glib at all, because it certainly isn't. But the reality is that life goes on after a tragedy like suicide, and it doesn't matter whether, whenever anybody loses somebody, whenever anybody ever dies, there's always there is grief, there's sorrow, there's regret, there's all the things that go with it. There's, I wish I could have said that, I should have said that, and we've always said that we would never go down that route of. I wish we hadn't said that to him, or I wish, all those kind of things that you do. And
that's hard.
That is very hard not to do that. It's really, really difficult not to do that.
But it doesn't bring him back. And it just eats us up. So
and don't be fooled. We have some really, really bad days. Even now we have days when we don't want to get out of bed. Now we have days where the last thing I want to do is to talk to anybody when they come in through the door and be happy, cheery, front of house person. And the last thing Jackie wants to do is put food on the plate for somebody. And that still happens, and it's sometimes it will just come out of the blue, and everybody loses something. I mean, even whether that's been, somebody being made redundant, somebody losing a job, moving house, maybe even donating a kidney, Sue. It's that there is a process, there's a bereavement in everything, but actually after that process, part of that process is the hope that it can bring you. And it doesn't matter whether you have faith, whether you have no faith, different faith, because it happens to everybody. And I have some brilliant conversations with people of all faith, no faith in the tea room, because we're very open about what we do, but we're very open about why we have the faith that we have. And there's not a week goes by when I don't have a conversation with a Hindu, a Muslim, a Jehovah's Witness, or somebody that's a complete atheist, agnostic, whatever you want, whatever label you want to put on somebody. We'll have a conversation with people about it, because the reality is that it doesn't matter what faith, no faith, what creed, color, where you're from, it's part of life and it happens. And just simply by being, people come in and they just come in for a cup of coffee and they end up telling me their life story. And it's
people want to tell. I don't know what you found, Alan, but with doing the shows, they always want to tell their story. If I give people an opportunity at the end of the show, I sit and I talk to people, and they always want to tell their story. They need to tell it, and actually during pandemic, even more so, they've wanted to share because they've not spoken to people. They've been in their cage. They've been locked in that cage, and they need to talk. You provide that. Look, we're going to draw it to a close because it's been so interesting.
It's been extraordinary.
And one of the reasons I got you on is because I know there are an awful lot of people in this community and beyond, people who we don't hear from week after week, that suddenly we find out been listening, who have suffered huge amount. Can you just both of you just conclude with just a minute each of how you would what you'd say to those people who are going through these really difficult times? Just in conclusion, then we'll sing you a song and introduce. If you could introduce, then after that, your song, the song that I'm going to sing for you next. All right.
Just hold on. Just keep holding on. Life is worth the living, and it's just about. Obviously, if you have faith, then life is definitely worth the living. But if you don't have faith, life is still worth living and holding on for. There is always hope. And you might think, in terms of suicide, you might think that you're the cause of everybody's problems and they're better off without you, but they're not. They love you and they need you, and sometimes you need to hear that.
Yeah.
And I think when we pray for people in this community. We don't always put a post on Facebook, because actually we don't need to put a post on Facebook to pray for people, and we pray for people that we've never met. We see names, and it's an absolute privilege to do that. And I think in the broader sense, when all of us are in whatever situation we're in, whether it's caring for somebody. I've got friends who have got struggling with partners with dementia and everything that goes with that. We've got friends who've got cancer. We've got friends who've got, we are just the same as anybody else, insofar as that we know people who know people who are going through these things. And it is I think the only thing we say to people is you are not on your own. There's always, and I think this is where this community is really, 12 months ago, this community didn't exist. Now it's got over 800 people and caring for each other as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's an amazing testimony to what the community has done, but what you two have both put in place as well, and to Claire and Rachel and to Ben for facilitating that as well, because it's brought people together who actually often maybe wouldn't have that kind of input, just to encourage them. And just to say, I understand. I can't necessarily help you because I might be 300 miles away, but actually I understand because I've been through that, But if we can go on for another 3 hours, Jonathan, that'd be wonderful.
No, that's it. Just introduce the song. Just introduce the song, because this is. I always think of you with this song, and you give the reasons.
Well, Jonathan's going to sing "Go Rest High," which is. I'm just not going to say anything else. Just say thank you, Jonathan, for singing it. Thank you for inviting us.
It's a special song for us, and bless you for singing.
Bless you both.
Well, thank you both, because I know that people have been blown away by your honesty, your openness, and it has helped and touched so many people. Obviously, if anyone has been affected by anything that's been said, there's a link that we put up, but also don't forget that, as Jerry's been saying, that there is Samaritans to help you. So please do not go to sleep tonight without chasing up some kind of help. But thank you so much.
Thank you. It's
you
been
so
much more than I'd hoped for, and thank you for being so open.
Yeah, we love you both.
We look forward to coming up to Stowe just a day out.
Yes.
And I know you're always booked out, but I would advise. And what are the tea rooms called, by the way, so everybody knows?
It's called the Old Bakery Tea Room.
The Old Bakery Tea Room in Stowe on the Wall. Well, it's not a cafe; it is a tea room. Right? Just to be clear.
Jackie put Jonathan in his place earlier about that.
Yeah, she said it's not a cafe, it's a tea room. A tea room, okay? But she serves the most wonderful food, I'm telling you. And if you can get in there, it's usually packed out. I'm telling you, so you better phone Stowe on the Wold, the Old Bakery Tea Room, and they're going to be thrilled. Tell them that you've come from the community. Give them a ring before you go to just check that they've got a place for you.
We do have a website, so you can book. You can book, but
and
also if anybody wants to message us and chat privately, we're more than happy for anybody to do that.
Thank you. Bless you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you for sharing yourselves.
And Rachel, let's hear the song. I know your life on earth was trouble, and only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil. You were no stranger to the rain. Go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a-shouting love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round the grave to grieve. I wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. Go to heaven a shout, love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we cried the day you left us. We gathered round the grave to grieve. I wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet voice sing. So go rest high on that mountain. Son, your work on earth is done. So go to heaven to shout love for the Father and the Son. Love for the Father and the Son. Fantastic song.
Wow, thank you so much, Alan and Jackie. That has moved so many of us, and I know that people have been really helped and challenged and, yeah, encouraged by your story that something terrible can happen, but actually there is life beyond it. And thank you for liking that song, because that was good to do. That was a good song to do.
Did you enjoy singing that song?
I did. That was fun.
Really well.
That was fun. I haven't done that before, so that was fun. So, just one or two notices. If you want to contact me about anything, then my email address is sue@jonathanvera.com. And so that's where you need to go if you need to ask any questions. You might want to ask questions about where there are shows happening, or indeed about how to put on a show at your church or in your village or your area.
Can I just add to that and say that we can do at short notice?
Yes, we can.
We can do concerts now because, of course, that's often how things are working now.
Indeed.
So just if you want us, then and you want your church to come and do it, then please do. But go on, there are 6 or 7 events that are going between now and Christmas, and we'd love there to be 9 or 10, so, come on down.
So if you want to contact me about anything, then it's sue@jonathanvera.com. If you would like to order anything, then the website is www.jonathanvera.com, and you can have a little cruise around there and look at the CDs and listen to the CDs and books. And It Is Well and Go Rest High are on, and It Is on the It Is Well album. And I was going to say it's the other Les Mis song, Stars, is on there as well. So that's a very popular one. But the books are there as well, and if you would like to order some books, and because I am beginning to get my brain back post-surgery, I am beginning to get on top of sending CDs and books out quickly. So again, if you just drop me a line in sue@jonathanvera.com, I can get Jonathan to dedicate anything for anyone in terms of a birthday or an anniversary or something like that. And so what else do I want to say? Yes, thank you for those of you who have donated and helped us out through this period of time. We are so grateful, and it's been an ongoing need, but we thank you that you have been helping us with that need. If you wish to donate through PayPal, it's paypal.me/Jonathan Vera, all one word. Again, if you want to write to me, it's sue@jonathanvera.com and ask for bank details, then I can let you have those. Thank you so much to all of those who are kind, generous, thoughtful, and who just donate to us. We are so very grateful. If you wish to ask anything technical or know about the notices, then you need to go to the JV Live Tech website, which is www.jvlivetech.uk, and all the notices are there, and also the helpful publicity if you want to organise something for You've Got a Friend gift day. So that's all there. So all that information is there. If you have been affected by anything that we've been talking about tonight, and I'm sorry for those of you, perhaps it has raised questions of loss within your family, because I noticed that a few people have said that they have lost family to suicide, and that pain is very deep and very real. And but hopefully you will see that there are places that you can go to get help, or just contact Alan and Jackie, or contact us, or whatever, to just talk about things.
We can redirect you if we need to.
We can redirect you, but this is all very much an arm round community.
We also, in our family, we had.
Yeah, so we know that
suicide.
it's a painful thing. So I think that we've said enough. If you do give to us, we give away 25% to You've Got a Friend. So that's still ongoing. So if you want to know where your money goes, 25% of it goes there.
I will be doing Oh Love That Won't Let Me Go next week, but we're going to finish this with our couple of songs, our duo of songs, featuring Sue and singing Go Peaceful. Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame.
God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love.
Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes.
God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. The Lord bless you and keep you, this week particularly. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you his peace, and give you his peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn his face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and be gracious to you, and be gracious to you. bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace and give you his And next week we have the very, very special guest in the studio. First time I can have people in. Mark Edwards, ladies and gentlemen. The wonderful, the magnificent, the talented, the extraordinary man and the great friend Mark Edwards coming in to play for me. We're going to have a great evening playing and singing songs. I have no idea what we're doing yet, but that's it. We're going to do it.
Then.
So stand by, maybe even a Christmas song, just to whet your appetite. All right, God bless you. See you next week.
Love you guys. Bye.